Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly report. Biden's Democracy Summit is a joke. On December 9th, President Biden will preside over an online summit for democracy, which claims it will bring together leaders from government, civil society, and the private sector to set forth an affirmative agenda for the democratic renewal and to tackle the greatest threats faced by democracies today through collective action. What a joke. This is not about promoting democracy. It's really about undermining democracy worldwide with U.S. government interventionist foreign policy. Yes, the conference is anti-democracy, not pro-democracy. The countries whose elected leaders do the bidding of the United States, disregarding the wishes of those who elected them, are to be favored with an invitation to this virtual event. The countries that pursue domestic and foreign policy that is independent from the demands of the U.S. State Department and CIA are not allowed into Washington's sandbox to play. Much of the world has seen through the pettiness of such an infantile approach. It is like the fairy tale of the emperor with no clothes. None of the sycophantic foreign leaders graced with an invitation to the banquet dare point out that the U.S. is in the business of undermining democracy overseas, not promoting it. Color revolutions, where elected governments are overthrown with the U.S. backing, is about the only thing the U.S. exports these days. Ask the Ukrainians how their U.S.-backed overthrow in 2014 has worked out for them. Ask any victim of U.S. anti-democratic color revolutions about the U.S. commitment to democracy. For Washington, democracy means you elect who we tell you to elect. European Union member country Hungary is the only EU country not invited to participate in the Summit for Democracy, even though it has undeniably held fully democratic elections since the end of communism 30 years ago. There is no question that Hungary is a democratic country, but it is not invited to Biden's Summit for Democracy. Why? Because the Biden administration does not like Hungary's democracy. It does not like the fact that the Hungarian people have voted for a conservative government that occasionally pursues foreign and domestic policy at odds with the dictates of Foggy Bottom and Langley. The Biden administration does not like that. Hungary resisted the mass invasion of refugees from countries and cultures absolutely alien to Hungary's history. Biden does not like the fact that Hungarians have voted time and time again for a conservative government that openly professes Christian values. But what they hate most is that when Washington says jump, Budapest doesn't always ask how high. It's a petty game that has always backfired on the likes of all Washington idiotic interventionist initiatives. For example, in the Hungarian situation, Washington's childish snub of Hungary has meant that the rest of the European Union cannot participate in the summit at the EU. Washington's intervention overseas is always its own goal. Sanctioning Russia over phony Russiagate has resulted in more Russia-China cooperation. The U.S. tells Iran it must not sell oil anywhere, and similarly demonized China cuts as a good deal for Iranian oil. It won't shock anyone that Russia and Iran, which has both elections no less democratic than those in the Ukraine, where opposition parties are allowed and their leaders jailed, are not invited to Biden's little party. But no doubt their absence will be more than made up by North Macedonia, Suriname, and Micronesia. Democracy summit? More like a propaganda summit. This is a joke. Thanks for listening.